us at the table. Meet us at the table. We deserve the table. Let's eat at the table. Meet us at the table. Meet us at the table. We deserve the table. Let's eat at the table. Meet us at the table. Meet us at the table. We deserve the table. Let's eat at the table. Meet us at the table. Meet us at the table. We deserve the table.
Oh shit, they done let us in. I think I had a fried chicken with a side of grains. Does the yo precious special come with cheese? Never mind, I'll take the yams and the black eyed peas.
Hatapu family, I am so excited to tell you all about our upcoming virtual healing conference. It is called the Health, Freedom, and Ascension Conference. And we are planning this conference. It's going to be online. So you can actually come wherever you are and just register, get your ticket. We have a beautiful lineup of people who are sharing information, everything from meditation and working with candles. We have Brother Kwesi, who is going to be speaking about vaccinations and religious exemptions. We're going to be talking about the chakras. We're going to have some sound therapy. We'll also have someone doing yoga. We're going to have a beautiful time online. So the Virtual Healers Conference is coming up. It is February 12th and 13th. You can come for 1 day or 2 days. We will be posting the schedule very soon so that you'll know who's speaking on what day. We also have one of my goddaughter's beautiful students. You all probably heard her music, Mamuna Yosef, also called Mumu Fresh, who is going to be sharing with us. She is one of my students, and I've known her for a long, long time. So I'm excited to have her joining us. She's going to be sharing about songwriting and helping you to express yourself. And we also have one of my teachers, Dr. Ayaba Bay, she is just one of the elders who is so full of knowledge. So anytime she shares, it is a blessing to be there to sit at her feet. So today we are starting a little series with some of our peers. And I am excited to share with you all one of my brothers. He is actually, I'm trying to bring him on in here. I've known this brother for over 10 years. Wow, 15 years, I would say, because he was there when Raseki first started. And he was, let's see, Brother Kwesi has always been one that I could go to for research and for information about ancient Kemetic history. He also helps to link, I'm trying to bring him in, y'all. He also helps to link, let's see, okay, it's giving me a time. He helps us to understand the link between ancient Kemet and the Akan tradition and the Yoruba traditions. So his work is phenomenal. Okay, it's saying he's unable to join. So, Brother Kwesi, you got to try again. I'm going to also try again. We just going to work through these issues on Instagram. And if they continue to give us issues, we going to move to YouTube and do this. So, yes, let me see, y'all. Just give us a moment. It could be, I cannot. It could be because I have another person on my, let's see. Okay. It's all good. We're going to continue to work through this. We are talking about the Health, Freedom, and Ascension Virtual Healers Conference that is coming up. Now, this is not a conference that is just for healers. It is open to the public. And it is healers who are doing the workshop. So everyone doing workshops are people who are within the Raseki Arts Temple, and they're masters at their craft, to be honest with you. And so I'm excited to have all of these people together. I wish that we could be together physically, but it's going to be even better because when we do it online, you could come from all over the world to get the information from everyone who is going to be joining us. So as I was saying before, I am working to bring in, because we wanted to just share some of the speakers with you all and help you to get a feeling for their energy and stuff like that, so that you could be just as excited as I am. You can also go to rasekihealing.com and just click on the top of the page, and you'll get the information about the conference. All the speakers are there. The topics that they're speaking about are also there. And I see you're there too, Khadidra. You might want to assist us with seeing if we could bring the brother online, because it's been giving me a hard time. So I just had to mention that. But I am we're going to be we have Sunu Aura, who is one of our priestesses in the temple. She's going to be sharing about herbs and wellness. This is an important time to make sure that we are up on our herbs. I keep getting a post saying that you are unable to join, Brother Kwesi. So we're going to keep trying, and I'll just keep sharing. In the meantime, let's see, we have Mama Mawusi, who is, so Aura is a herbalist. She has a lot of great information to share about herbs. We got Mawusi, who is the founder of the Mothership Incorporated. She's a midwife, a doula, and a herbalist, and she has so much information to share. We have the Sunu, or priestess Nebthet, who is out there in Cleveland as well. And she too, she's like a magical, mystical, beautiful, powerful priestess. So we are excited. She's going to be talking about candle work and stuff like that. So it is a great lineup that we have planned for everyone. And you just have to go to the website and take a look for yourself. Hey, there he goes. Sooner or later, I knew we would get through all of everything and whatever. But Hetapu, my brother, how are you today?
What's up? Good. How are you?
I'm thankful. I'm very good. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
All right.
Minute.
So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so well, first of all, yeah, I'll say thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to share at the conference. This is going to be this is different because it's a 2-day virtual conference. A number of different healeresses. A couple of them I know, but some of them I haven't met yet. So I'm looking forward to their presentations. And of course, in this environment, this is exactly what we need. So for people who are unaware, my name is Odwirafo Khan. I'm the Odwirafo of the Akwamu Nation in North America. Akwamu Mine and Marukati Fimu, the Akwamu Nation in North America. Published 31 books to date. We have a few books coming out. Trying to catch up with you.
I'll try to catch up with you.
So we have, we also have some online courses. I have 30 online courses that people can access. You can download the books, the ebook versions of our 31 books for free. But we deal with Afurakaini, African ancestral religion, culture, and nation building restoration, fundamentally. So, yes.
All right. And that reminds me of our documentary that you made. So definitely share a little bit about that, because I love it. I don't think enough people have seen it.
Right. And now that, people are getting locked down again, will be, people have access to that. So we produced a documentary a few years ago. It's called Amarukafo Adebisa, African American Ancestral Divination. So there are 5 of us in the film. Mut Kajara is in the film. Voodoo Queen Kalinda Laveau out of New Orleans. Mama Mawusi Ashakir out of Ohio, who is also going to be speaking at at this virtual conference.
Yes.
Sashat Wabet Sashat Satheru, she's in the film as well. So what it is the forms of divination that we preserved in our blood circles over the past 300 plus years since we were forced into the Western Hemisphere. So, of course, we're taken from the Western and central parts of Africa, forced into the Western Hemisphere during the enslavement era, but we maintained our ancestral religious traditions and practices. So, for example, the Akan people, when we were forced over here, we continued Akan ancestral religion in our spirit genetic blood circles. It's called hoodoo, from the Akan term undu, which means medicine from roots, trees, and plant life. It also means to become heavy with the spirit through spirit possession and spirit communication. So when someone said, I'm a hoodoo man or a hoodoo woman, they were saying, I'm an Akan man or an Akan woman from Ghana, Ivory Coast. Yoruba people who were forced into North America maintained their ancestral religious practices under the term juju, which is, Ju is a Yoruba term, which means to cast or to throw. So juju is dealing with casting or throwing, medicine, ritual work, and so forth. But they preserved the Orisha tradition under the juju terminology. So if someone said originally, I'm a juju man or a juju woman, they were saying, I'm a Yoruba man or Yoruba woman. The same thing with voodoo, of course, in the Ewe tradition. Voodoo means, divinity, goddess or god, divine spirit force in nature. They continue to practice. Anybody who is Ewe or in the phone ethnic group from Togo, Benin, and so forth, they continued the voodoo tradition under that terminology. People who are Ovambo, who practice the Ovambo tradition of Angola and Namibia and Botswana and so forth, they continue under the term Wanga. So when they say a Wanga man or Wanga woman, they're throwing the Wanga and so forth. In North Carolina and South Carolina, on the Gullah Geechee corridor and so forth, they were saying, I'm a Ovambo man, Ovambo woman. And even now, when you hear that, it's become very popular, the term gang or gang, and you hear that in, songs and hip hop artists and so forth.
Okay.
The term in gang.
From the Congo. The Nganga.
So in the Congo, you have Nganga, and the variation of that is Ngang, which is the Fang people, Fang, of Gabon and Cameroon, and they continued Fang ancestral religion under the term Ngang, and we still use that terminology and not knowing what we're saying. And that's so we maintained our ethnic groups under our ancestral religious practices. So we talk about the forms of divination that we preserved in these traditions. So that's what the film is about. Mut Kajara is in the film as well. She's the first one showcased in the film, did a great presentation and so forth. And everybody can access that film online. It's on demand, so you can access it at any time.
All right, wonderful. Yes. I appreciate you sharing that information. You are just so full of information. So it's nothing for you to just open up like that. But, people don't often think about it like that, how the juju man and casting the cord and the shells and, those traditions have continued. So it's a part of us. And we just have to reach inside, do that Sankofa, and go back and get it. You know what I mean? So that's also what this conference is about, because everyone who is speaking is coming from an African-centered place. And that's where we are right now in returning to our culture. That is our healing overall. So give thanks. So just let us know a little bit about what you're going to be speaking about at the virtual healing conference.
Definitely. So people see on the flyer, we're talking about vaccinations, the vaccination mandates, but the ancestral religious exemption with regard to vaccinations. So, people they're threatening people's jobs. Of course, this is we know their MO. We know how they operate. They create a hysteria, make people afraid. They put forward little hybrid forms of viruses, make people believe that everybody's going to die, even though 99+% of people who become infected have absolutely no problem at all. Even the CDC recently, the head of the CDC recently acknowledged that 75% of these so-called 850,000 deaths, 75% of those people had at least 4 comorbidities. So if they were obese, or if they had cancer, or if they had some other, drug addiction or something. In reality, when you look at
Yes.
50,000 deaths in America, you can really say it's about 10% of that. So, and then you also, if you look at the numbers of the people who, you know, would normally come down with the flu every year, about 26 million in 2018, 38 million in 2019, and then just 1,800 people in the whole country, they say, got the flu in 2020. So what happened to those 38 million? Most of these
Right.
have the flu.
All the flu cases.
Right, and
Yeah,
they're
we know what it
diagnosed
is.
with COVID, so they create a hysteria. Then they make people beg them to give them a remedy, and then they have this poison that they're trying to pump into our people, and they're lining our people up, right? So, for example, we have to draw the line or make a connection between, you know, true story, what happened in the past, and what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Now, if we look at when they first announced this vaccine, and they did it very quickly, right? Within 9 months, you know, they had it ready,
Yeah.
pre-area. Dr. Fauci, the top epidemiologist for the president and so forth, head of the NIH, he trotted out this black woman, this doctor, saying that she led the, you know, team
Okay.
to produce this vaccine. And they
Right.
said because African Americans were, you know, not represented well in the past, and we had vaccine hesitancy and so forth. Now that they see that there was a black woman, a physician, who led the team, you know, to create this vaccine, we should rest assured that this is okay. And they were trying to, you know, really promote us getting the vaccine first. Even couched it in terms of racial justice for us to get the shot first, which is insane. You don't,
Right.
if you're in, get a shot, because we know how they operate. It's no different than abortionists seeking to wipe our people out. So, but they tried at this black female physician, the sister, which is not her fault, of course, but they trotted her out to give us some, you know, solace.
Right.
But when you go back to Tuskegee from 1942 to 1972, where they, you know, 400 brothers were infected with syphilis and so forth. They were pretending like they were giving them health care, but they were giving them fake injections and doing other things to them. And they let that happen over the course of 30 years from 1942 to 1972. Many of the brothers died. They infected their wives, and their children also developed genital syphilis and so forth because they allowed this to go on. And it was only exposed in 72 because, you know, some of the information was leaked to the media and so forth. So, but what's important is a couple of years before it was over, somebody happened to join the Department of Health, what is now the Department of Health and Human Services. It was Dr. Fauci. So he was working at the NIH during the time that Tuskegee was happening.
Oh.
And recall that.
I did not know that.
Yes. So back during Tuskegee, they trotted out a black woman who was, you know, working with the CDC and so forth to send her into rural areas as a representative of the government to give people solace to say, oh, if she's, you know, behind this Tuskegee program, the study, then it must be all right. So they did the same thing.
Okay. You just giving me too much right now. Too much.
So we just need to, you know, when you have
save some of that for this workshop.
Right. So that's just having a true historical consciousness. You can.
Yeah, it's for real. I know.
And what's happening right now exactly. So it's very important that we understand that. But then what we'll be talking about with regard to, we published a document dealing with the ancestral religious exemption. So people have to go to work, they have to go to school. You know, jobs are being threatened and so forth. They're not able to go to school and so forth. They're trying to force people to have these vaccines. But typically there's a medical exemption or a religious exemption. Right. Some people claim the religious exemption, but since we practice ancestral religion and we utilize the term Echi-san as an umbrella term for the various forms of ancestral religious practice that we engage in, whether it's Akan, Yoruba, Igbo, Basa Fulafan, Hoodoo, Juju, Voodoo, Ngengai, Wanga, you know, Candomblé, Lukumi, whatever it is, under that umbrella of ancestral religion, or we utilize the term Echisign, we have a ancestral religious exemption document. We have the cosmological foundation for why we do not accept vaccinations, period. And that includes anybody practicing any form of Kemetic tradition, ancient Kemetic tradition, and so forth. That all fits under the umbrella of Echisign. So we publish this document. It includes an affidavit that people can sign off. It includes the relevant statute from Title VII of the Civil Rights Act that doesn't allow, employers to discriminate against people because of their religious beliefs and so forth. So many people have downloaded our document. Of course, it's free. They've used it in their schools, used it at their places of employment and so forth, so that they can, exercise or claim that religious exemption. So that's what we're going to get into.
And I have claimed religious exemption for my children their whole lives because I really do not believe, in being vaccinated, and because we're against polluting our bodies. Right. And I remember, when my oldest child was young, the elders around me, they told me to ask the doctors for the list of ingredients for the vaccine before I give it to them. And I was like, okay, all right, I could do that. And when I saw the ingredients, I was like, it's no way that I'm going to let someone shoot this stuff into my tiny little baby. And so, I stood on that from that point because it was full of stuff that I think like rat poison and, all kind of crazy stuff. It didn't make sense to me. And I was, 20 years old at the time, 21. So it is important for us, those of us who are standing on our religious beliefs in this time, to understand what we need to do to stand, what is our exact right, as far as our religious beliefs. How can we stand up and, not allow ourselves to be completely pushed out of society in a time when they are requiring you to have it to go out to different places. So, for us to come together, for us to work together, for, be creative, and really figure out how we're going to maneuver through this time. That's important. So we'll also be touching on those things as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we know that some employers will just accept, can you,
yeah. Somebody is fading in and out.
Oh, can you, it was buffering a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you now.
Okay. I was just saying that some employers, you provide an affidavit saying I have a sincerely held religious belief, and some of them will accept that, but then you have some who are a little bit, a nuisance, and they try to press the issue. So one of the why we publish this document, we have an affidavit at the end of the document that people can sign, and it has the relevant statute and so forth. But we also, the first 3 pages is the philosophical foundation for why we, do not accept vaccines. And that ties back to what we were talking about, conjure and root work and so forth. That is a component of every expression of ancestral religious practice, no matter what form it takes. Wherever Black people are in the world, we've inherited our ancestral religious practice. And so part of that, like on the expansive and contractive side, on the contractive side, the restoration of divine balance, that's where conjure and root work, comes into play. And how we heal ourselves through plant life, animal life, mineral life, and Afurakani, or the African human life, using fire, water, earth, and air in certain configurations. It's a divine mandate for us to address and restore balance to ourselves through that process. That's a religious, firm religious conviction. So extra information, that's the reason why we published the document. We've had people around the country who have been able to use it, to take care of their children as well as themselves. And the entire ancestral religious community needs to have, a central document, no matter what kind of house, if you're in a Orisha house, a Vodou house, a Kemetic spirituality house, and so forth, no matter what it is, Akana, Bosom House, and so forth. You need to have certain standards. So, and we've always had this, but now it's just more people are reaching out. Just like last year when everything was going down at first, people started reaching out to the holistic health people to say, what do I need to do about this virus?
Right.
The people that neglected for years, talking about that holistic health stuff, when they started getting hit with this virus, to us saying, okay, what do we do?
That's
and
true. Very
came
true.
out, the same thing happened. Now that their jobs are being threatened and their school, possibly not being able to go to school, go to college, and so forth, was manifesting like that, they came back to the religious community to say, how do we navigate our way through this? So we're going to all of that.
Yes. That's very true. It definitely came up last year with the virus. Everyone started turning to all of us who have been saying, you should eat more healthy. You should stop going to the fast food restaurant. You should do this. So, that's just kind of how it is. We are thankful. And I will stop to just give thanks to the great teachers who came before us, who showed us the way. Dr. Sabi, Dr. Africa, Dr. Paul Goss. And I will always include Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, because she came with the knowledge to help clear our minds and to deprogram ourselves from, what we grew up knowing, which is a big part of our healing process as well. So if you do want to receive the affidavit, you can send an email. You want to give them your email address or the website directly?
Yes, so you can go to, here on Instagram, I'm Odwirafo on Instagram. So if you just go to odwirafo.com, ODWIRA, F is in free, O.com. You'll see it on one of the first pages. You'll see the etchy sign, ancestral religious exemption document, official position against vaccines. You'll see that right on the front page. And you can also, hit me up on Instagram or Facebook, and we can send that out.
Yes, thank you so much. And I have been sharing it with a lot of my students as well, because as I said in the beginning, this brother is my research brother. He is very, very thorough and will make sure to do everything right and exact. So I know that the people that I shared it with, no one has said they had any problems after using it. So I definitely encourage you all to go to his website, check it out if you need that religious form, because we have to stand up. We can't just sell ourselves, sell our souls, take anything, do anything, especially when it's against everything that we believe in. So
Exactly.
yes. Well, if anyone does have any other questions, you're welcome to put them in the comments. How about you, brother? What else do you want to share with our listeners before we close?
Well, I just want to say, since this is a very, a 2-day virtual conference with a number of different healers and healers from different, perspectives, at different angles to attack the major problem. So we encourage everybody to register. You can register for 1 day or, the whole weekend and so forth, and share the information as well. When you look at the different people's profiles, like I do know Brother Ankh, I do know, of course, Mama Mawusi, who's in the film, our documentary as well. I know Ara, but some of the other people I don't know yet. So I'm looking forward to their presentations as well. So everybody needs to register as soon as you can, so we can get this information out. We have 8 different healers and healeresses, so that's a good mix.
Yes, that is so true. The sister's still asking about the affidavit. So the website is odwirafo.com.
Yes.
If you go there, you will be able to find that affidavit for the religious exemption.
And I'll read on Instagram as well. On my Instagram page, I'll repost it right after this.
Okay.
So,
That'd be great. And I just wanted to add, when you were talking about the speakers, we also have, I'm just so thankful to be connected to so many powerful people. So when I started saying we need to get together and do this, everyone was in agreement and just stepped up to it. So I have Lumaniki, who is going to be doing sound therapy, and also the sister Y, and they both are very magical with the singing bowls. And I told one of them I was giving you 30 minutes, and she said, no, I want a whole hour. So I'm saying, right, it's going to get real, real beautiful, deep. You're going to come out of this weekend feeling more refreshed, renewed, raising your vibration, your consciousness, your frequency in all ways. And that's what healing is all about. That's what we do here at Raseki Temple. And yes, just be encouraged in this time. You know, this is a time of change. It is a time for us to step into our authentic selves, to be living according to our purpose, and to be true to ourselves in the best that we can. So that's also a part of our healing process, because for many years we were really not able to do that, right? We had to wear the mask. We had to live according to other people's requirements. And now we really do have a choice. So choose wisely, my beautiful brothers and sisters. I give thanks. Thank you so much, Brother Quasi, for coming to join us. You have any other words of encouragement for everyone?
I would just say I appreciate you for inviting me once again. There's a difference between, just people giving information and something that's valuable, that has worth, that can be applied for healing. So when you have accurate, authentic information, it can be life transforming. It's not just people preaching, about, healing, or doing little presentations with charisma and makes people clap. And, it's like when you have accurate information, if you have women, for example, our sisters, developing fibroids and so forth, they go to a physician, a conventional physician, and they say, well, we're going to have to perform a hysterectomy. Then they get a second opinion, from a different physician, from a different state, or a third opinion, and they have the same recommendation. But then if they come across some authentic information about holistic health, diet, and different ways to manage so-called stress and overcome so-called temporary obstacles and so forth, but and ritual medicine, as well as herbs and so forth, where they can shrink tumors and pass them out without having to get surgery. When they come across accurate information, then they seek out people who have actually engaged this process and healed people for years, and they have a track record. That accurate information was life transforming. They could have gone the route of having a hysterectomy, having their uterus removed, but because they had accurate information, their life, is preserved and extended and so forth. So when we're talking about having a healers conference, we're giving information that can actually transform people's lives. It's not just, people kick it on the internet and freestyle and talk stuff and, say, right. They send their cat. They're just talking and making people say ooh and ah, but it may or may not be accurate. So we're talking about people who have a track record of actually transforming the community. So it has real value.
I say, you put that very well. I appreciate that so much. So you all make sure you go to the website at rasekihealing.com. Right there at the top of the site, you'll see a button. You can click for the Healers Conference. It's the Health, Freedom, and Ascension Virtual Healers Conference, coming February 12th and 13th. And it is virtual, so you can enjoy it from the comfort of your home and just tune in to everything that we have to offer. It's going to be spiritual, it's going to be powerful, it's going to be healing. And we will be coming again on IG Live with another one of our speakers very soon. So make sure you stay connected. Go ahead and get your tickets. And we will talk to you all again. I'm out of words right now, y'all. But it has been beautiful. I thank you so much. Do I, my brother.
Okay, Medase, I appreciate you.
Yes. Hetepu, Uncle Jasineb. Love to you all.
I said I love in black.